Korea's excessive rice stockpile has become a major headache for the country. The government has roughly 3.5 million tons of rice in reserve in 3,900 public grain warehouses as of the beginning of this year, the highest level since record-keeping began in 1970. That means an annual $175 million is being spent on storage expenses alone, with stockpiles reaching 4 times the level of UN recommendations. A lot of effort has been made to tackle this problem so far, with the country scaling down rice cultivation areas, joining international food aid programs, and even using rice as animal feed. But one of the most effective and promising solutions that has emerged is using rice to make consumer products. Take a look at bakery 햇살마루, which offers some 40 types of breads and pastries strictly made with rice. The 10-year-old business says about 1,500 goods are purchased a day on average, mainly by health-conscious consumers.
I don't really like flour, so after I eat bread, I would have problems with digestion. But rice bread has been fine on the stomach. I don't feel bloated, and it's pretty good.
Rice-based bread tastes so much better, and the texture is good. We're from a nation that's been consuming rice for thousands of years, so this seems to suit our diet better than flour.
햇살마루 says although the fermentation process was tricky to master in the beginning, it's now regularly adding 3 to 4 new bread varieties every 2 months.
There's no difference in the texture now. Initially, there was a lot of difference in terms of both texture and taste, but I think now we're about 90% close to flour-based bread.
Rice is also being used in the unexpected field of toys as well. After about 3 years of trial and error, startup Jam Family commercialized this clay product that feels just like rice cakes without the stickiness. The clay company says it welcomes about 2,000 orders per month, which takes about 1 ton of rice to manufacture. While there's demand in China as well, Jam Family says it hopes to establish a stronger market presence in Korea first.
Our company aims to create a world where children are free of chemicals. If existing products are very chemical heavy, we make products with ingredients that are edible. Many people tend to think of clay merely as children's toys, but it can also be used to help patients with dementia, developmental disorders, and ADHD.
As of now, the majority of rice-based products are made with regular rice that goes on the table. But experts say this actually is a very costly method because table rice needs to be reprocessed to be suitable for other use. That would only add to existing costs.
Because the government only subsidizes table rice, we have a high imbalance in production. So I would say leave table rice to the market and offer more financial support for farmers who grow other types of rice that can be used for animal feed, baking, or for cosmetics. I think a policy that encourages this kind of production is more sustainable in the long run. So we need to diversify the cultivation of various rice types right from the get-go.
The state-run National Institute of Crop Science is doing just that by developing a new rice variety called 한가루, which is made specifically for the purpose of brewing beer.
한가루 was developed to be used as rice flour since it's easy to grind. When we were in the process of exploring various ways to promote the consumption of rice flour, we realized that it can be used to brew alcohol. That's why we developed a way to mix it with beer.
Made up of 60% malt and 40% rice, this craft beer is said to be less bitter and easier to drink compared to those solely made up of barley. After grinding 한가루, the particles go through a saccharification process.
이게 맥주를 제조하기 전에 전분에서 당을 추출하는 맥즙을 만들어야 되거든요. 그래서 맥즙을 만드는 과정이 되겠습니다.
After that, the beer is put in a fridge to be fermented for about 13 days before it goes through a second fermentation process for another month. The Research Institute says it hopes to commercialize these craft beers within the next 3 years and eventually export to other countries around the world. On a broader scale, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs said it will also continue to actively support the creation of different rice varieties so as to reduce government stockpiles and encourage exports of rice-based goods in the future as well. Lee Ju-young, Business Daily.